If you want to save money on your trading card purchases, we have a promo link over at 50cards.shop. Enter the promo code @night to get 5% off your order. Hey everybody, welcome to Nexus at Night, your weekly Vanguard podcast. I'm Atlas.
I'm Matt.
Matt's sick. I'm Root Beer.
I think, well, okay, 2/3 of us are sick. I'm sick too because of my freaking kids. So, yay. Although I'm probably not as sick as he is. But, yeah. So, today we're talking about 50 cards. Not 50cards.shop, which we have a sponsorship with for the people who watch this on YouTube. You're getting it again. 50cards.shop/@night. Anyway, no, we're talking about the deck size change to a standard deck, which has happened, which was announced, and we kind of went over it for a little bit, but now it's like been around for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And to those who don't know,
officially it's been around for like a week.
A week, yeah, but I mean like the announcement, which means that people, like at least my locals, as soon as it was like announced, we're like, so we're doing this, right? We're all okay, cool, we're in, let's go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most people just decided like January. My locals decided to just start honoring the rule change in January.
Yeah. It's so funny to me when Bushi or Konami or whoever will be like, okay, this is the new ban list. It doesn't take effect for another month and a half. And you're like, why? Why not just make it a thing now? Like, everyone's just going to start like preparing for it anyway. So just make it happen now.
Yeah. Well, you have to give people time to prepare for events.
I guess.
Not that we have that many events anyways.
True. But yeah, so before deck size was 50 and the ride line was taken into consideration. Therefore, your deck size was effectively 46. Now it's 50
plus ride line.
Yeah, plus ride line. So for a total of 54.
Yes.
So, how's it been?
I mean, so what the major thing is just like hits to consistency, right? Like now that you have 4 extra cards that you can see, you're not going to see the things you want as often.
Yeah, that's 4 more cards that aren't triggers in your deck.
Certainly.
I'm kind of shocked this wasn't their original plan going with the ride deck, but it just seems to make sense.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of an afterthought where they're like, oh, the ride deck is now this thing. And people were like, so is it in addition to the deck or?
Like, it's there. Yeah, it's like just there, right?
Yeah. And people, and they were like, I don't know. Don't add 4 more cards. And then we're like, oh, okay. And then it turned out to be worse. So,
yeah. So the thing about the way like Bushi designs the ride deck too is that like it feels very separate from what's happening with the rest of the deck, right? Because oftentimes like the ride deck cards are just standalone; they don't do anything on rear guard.
Yeah.
So they just like exist to set up your main grade 3 plan, and then So it was always kind of weird that you have this thing that's basically outside of your main deck, but like they don't give you the extra space to compensate. And so it made deck building very frustrating because suddenly like 3 of your slots just kind of disappear to the right. Okay, actually technically just 2.
Why? Because like, that main grade 3 is going to be in the deck anyway?
Yeah, like your grade 3 was always going to be in the deck, and the grade 0 was never part of the deck technically. So it was really just like 2 slots out of the deck, but that you still kind of felt that, right?
I guess so. A lot of the grade 1 and 2 stuff wasn't really super impactful. Your mileage may vary with that statement. But in Overdress, your grade 1 and 2 turn kind of don't do all that much compared to, like, look at something like V, where you had grade 1s that were like on ride, like pick anything, right? Draw a card, discard a card, unhit, draw a card. Like it was at least a more tangible advantage compared to overdress. Not always, but a lot of cards were like, when this is ridden upon by the grade 2, then you do the thing. When this is ridden upon by the grade 3, do the thing. And lots of grade 2s with Vanguard skills in V era, V premium that you wanted to ride. And with the ride deck, you just kind of, all right, let's go, so I can get to my grade 3 and make this happen, you know?
Right.
Yeah. I swear I had more.
You swear you had more?
Like, I swear I had more. We're gonna cut this part out, but like, I swear I had more to talk about with this.
I mean, okay. So with 4 more slots that are mandatory, that means you have 4 more slots for cards that you had to cut before. In Masknolia, for example, the space was very tight because you had to run the Mask engine and Magnolia himself and all that stuff. And you very rarely had like all the little Sylvanhorn beast stuff, the alpaca, glow nipples, all that stuff kind of got pushed to the wayside because you're like, I got to make sure I get those dragon tree markers, and everything else is kind of ancillary. Having 4 extra slots does a lot.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where like it's a great what if of Vanguard's history, where what if Bushiroad, you know, like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh had a deck minimum, sure, but also like a deck maximum instead of the minimum and maximum being the same amount. You know, you could have decks that maybe ran other engines or just had room to play with more stuff. And this is the first time that that's happening in any significant capacity in the game's entire history, is extra slots to do things with.
Well, I think in Vanguard's case, because of how consistent decks can be, I think a lot of people will just take the extra cards, right? Like in Yu-Gi-Oh, you want a lot of people try to cut as close to 40 cards as possible to try and keep their engines consistent, because even though you can do a lot of bullshit in Yu-Gi-Oh, like the level of ready advantage and the ability to just basically take whatever you want out of your deck is like not very comparable, right?
Yeah. But then you also have like, even in Yu-Gi-Oh, there was a card called That Grass Looks Greener, and I know you guys know what it is, but this is for the listener. That Grass Looks Greener was a card that when you played it, it milled cards until you had the same amount of cards in deck as the opponent. So what happened was there was this brief arms race where you had people who were playing grass decks play That Grass Looks Greener to go from 60 to 40 cards roughly. And that would give them a huge swinging advantage because you had all these cards that worked in the graveyard, which then made the non-grass players play 60-card pile decks to kind of nullify the effect of That Grass Looks Greener. And then it kept going until they eventually banned grass. And I thought that was, while annoying, was an interesting part of Yu-Gi-Oh's history in regards to deck building. Yeah. And we just don't have that in Vanguard, and we never will.
Yeah, I mean, Vanguard just doesn't have like effects like that, right?
Yeah,
no crazy graveyard effects.
Yeah, but also like Yu-Gi-Oh would probably not print a card that says look at the top 5 cards of your deck and summon whatever the hell you want.
It's just like the economy of how cards work in Vanguard and Yu-Gi-Oh are just entirely different.
True.
Well, I guess we have Pot of Prosperity.
He's frozen to you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He said something about Pot of Prosperity.
Maybe dying.
Okay, something about Pot of Prosperity? This was happening to me on Generation Dan last week, except it was me and not everybody else.
Lovely. So, like I was saying, Prosby is the closest thing we have to a Vanguard card in Yu-Gi-Oh! In terms of, like, just being able to take whatever you want, and that card is limited. It also has like a bunch of other text on it to make it much worse.
Well, where it like stops you from what is it, summoning or whatever.
Drawing
you
for the rest of the turn.
can't draw additional cards that turn. And then you also deal like half damage, so if you're going second, it drastically reduces your ability to OTK.
Got it. That's so funny to me that it's it feels like an OTT card, Pot of Prosperity.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because like Vanguard, we have a ton of cards that just say, look at your top 3 cards and grab whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like Pot of Prosperity would be practically free in this game.
I'm pretty sure they have like something to that effect.
Just read
as, like,
any
an order
in card.
Well, yeah, that. But I was also thinking of like as an order. Is there a Stoichia order? Frozen Resentment.
Yeah,
that Pot of Prosperity.
Yeah, like look at top 3, bin anything, and then call anything with like a grade equal or lower than Vanguard.
Yeah. Checkmate Jin and Yahtzee, friends. It's online.
So yeah, I think like deck size modifications for Vanguard, like yeah, certainly there is the question of like triggers and stuff. Like you're gonna have more variance in your trigger checks, but like there is enough consistency in Vanguard, and you go through enough cards that generally I think like trying to add more cards to a Vanguard deck probably wouldn't affect things the way they would in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. I still think it would have been a cool idea to let people make that decision for themselves, especially because there's the trigger aspect. Like you're making the concerted choice of not only lowering your consistency by adding more cards, but also lowering your trigger density in doing that. Not that I think they're suddenly going to be like, all right, you know, the floor is 50, the ceiling is 60, go nuts. Like they're not suddenly going to change their minds, but
yeah. I think like everyone's kind of being forced to do it, so I think it won't actually like change that much.
Everyone's super, no one is, that kind of thing. Or
yeah.
Well, no, it's just like no one's going to be able to like, oh, I will choose to play 46 instead of 50, right?
Yeah.
Like that's not going to happen.
Right.
So, like, what do you think are what are you putting in your deck now to fill in those extra 4 slots?
Uno momento.
I couldn't tell you.
Well, now that the I forgot my headphones at work, you heard me shuffling around in my backpack. All right.
I did want a correction. Pot of Prosperity is not at 1 in TCG, only on Master Duel.
Oh,
I see.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's say that when we're in like actual recording mode.
All right. Excuse me. Okay, so the 4 things that I decided to add, at least in Magnolia. Bam. So for people listening, / because I was so quick about it, 1 copy of Conceited Noble Philander, which is grade 1. When placed on rear from hand, check top 5, put and bin something, and then during your turn, if you have 10 or more cards and drop it, gets plus 10k. So just to like help set up the Force Growth Dragon better in the early game, and also it just is a big body. 1 copy of Sylvanhorn Beast Alvin because I like irony, and it's the when swinging from the back row, it's Battledore skill. 1 copy of Sylvanhorn Beast Serral just to be able to turn on Persona Ride for back row. And then also, if you call it off of Mythiarch Habitat, it still gets the search, which is cool. And then an extra copy of the Pineapple Cat, because the Pineapple Cat is my win con, and I had it at 2, so now this is at 3. There you go. That's what I'm doing with with that.
Yeah. Also, Matt pointed out while Atlas was getting his cards, which may or may not get cut out, that Pot of Prosperity is at 1 in Master Duel, which is why I was thinking about it like that, because I only play Master Duel, but it's at 3 in the TCG.
Yep. I believe it's also limited in the OCG for what it's worth.
Okay. So, 2 out of 3 formats, it's limited. Probably could be limited in the TCG too, to be honest.
Yeah, you would think.
Now, on the other hand, I have Jeweled too, and I had no idea a snowball's chance in hell. So I ended up adding 3 copies of Tangle Venerer, which is a grade 1 that end of battle that it boosted. You put them into soul and give something 5k, and then a 3rd copy of the cat, which I know sounds kind of counterproductive because you can only use the effect twice in a game, but hopefully you don't see them all at once.
Right?
I mean,
What else?
look, sometimes you just need 50 cards.
Yeah, or 54 in this case. But like, just what the hell are you supposed to do otherwise?
Yeah, because you don't Persona Ride, so you can't play any of the Persona Ride card.
Can't play
I guess you can just play Lamina anyways, just for the cycle.
I guess. I'm not really sure. The deck kind of runs itself, unfortunately. Like, once you have the infrastructure in place, it just kind of either it wins or it doesn't. And I'm wondering what it's like for other people. That's only 2 nations and 2 decks within those nations. Please, comment section or Twitter at Nexus at Night. Let us know, what are you doing with those extra 4 slots?
Are you not just playing the grade 2 promo that's like when attacks a grade 3 or greater, you choose a card from drop, it gets 5k for each grade of that card, and then you put the card into soul?
I do not have that. What's the name?
Servant Falcracia. Yeah. Falcracia. God damn it,
Seems
I hate
pretty
these
good.
names. But it's like a $14 card right now, so
What the?
Oh my
it's a
god,
promo.
eat me.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a promo.
Oh, that thing. Oh, the like girl who looks like a
Maid.
scullery maid, right?
Yeah.
No, I would probably, but
Yeah, that just feels like the obvious one because it like sets up your win con.
yeah, it does. And yeah, $14. Give me a freaking break. Part of me wants to just sell the deck anyway, because like the only reason I built it was you gave me the infrastructure for so cheap. Meanwhile, it hasn't changed in premium at all, which obviously like they're not going to be playing each other just alongside each other this Spring Fest, but I'm wondering how that's going to affect the conversation between people who only play standard and those who play premium or V or whatever.
It's okay. Now you don't have to think about it because of tri-regulation. We can talk about that too, since we're here. Yeah.
Do I even want to go this year? Like,
You have a B premium player?
yeah.
Nice.
I mean, like, I've had a couple of people hit me up and be like, hey, you looking for anybody? And I guess part of it is also, I guess I can just say this. So Katie and I are probably moving soon to a 2-bedroom.
Okay.
Nice.
Sometime in March or whatever. Get ready for less episodes. Crappier made episodes because all my shit will be in a box somewhere. Yeah, so that's right around the time of Springfest, isn't it?
Yeah, because ours is going to be March 2nd.
Okay.
Oof.
Oh no, it'll all be fine because we would move like either mid to late March. So we will see. Yeah, I predicted V was gonna be sunset with this last reveal, and they didn't. They were like, let's play all 3.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking wild.
Yeah.
Hey, this format's really unpopular. We'll now force somebody to play it.
Yeah. And it's like obviously they were trying to find a way to make room like day 1 for Shadowverse. And it's like, we could just like end the format, right? It's not like you guys are supporting it.
You're not supporting it. I feel like enough of V is in premium that you can you can get them over there. And also, we have a full-on series about how to switch from one format to the other.
Yeah.
So please check it out. Vita Premium Transition if you haven't already. But yeah, there's not a lot of people in my neighborhood, so to speak, who do V. Like, there's a lot of standard and a lot of premium people, but that middle one, I feel like if you're a V premium player, you can just kind of camp out and be like, I'm playing the shittiest thing possible, but I'm the only V player that you'll ever find. Bring it on, you know.
That's how it feels.
I would love to see somebody just like get in based on that, where they're like, "Well, are you going to find anybody else? Well, I'm playing OTT. Then let's go."
I don't know. I kind of threw this topic out. I ran out of steam on the 50 card topic a while ago. I could have sworn I had like more for the idea.
Okay, I mean, that's okay. Matt, you got anything to add?
Not too much. I've not really been doing very much. Like I said, I've been sick the past couple days.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Well, I just got a text from CVS saying the CDC recommends an updated COVID vaccine. So maybe get those.
Boy.
Anyway, let us know what you think about the 4 extra slots in your deck in standard, and also the tri-reg format down below. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/Nexus at Night. Get a whole ass bonus show every week with 2 to 3 of us. If you want to be thanked on the show, people like Darren, Cole, Josh, Jeremy, GR, and Ali, you can donate $10 a month. Otherwise, it's just $5 to get the bonus show. Cup of coffee a month helps support us to not die and all that good stuff. You can also follow us on social media at Nexus at Night. How about the rest of us?
Find me on Twitter at Wiggums 2Gs 2Zs.
Find me at Plasma Eclipse.
Or me at Atlas Novak. Or my my YouTube channel, The Epileptic Comic. Or my other podcast, Generation Dan. The episode that just came out this week was about my wedding. Go check it out. We had Joey Edibles from the Swear Table Degenerates, who is a fucking nightmare of a person, but it was still a good time. So thanks everybody for listening, and until next time, I was Atlas.
I'm still Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And have a good night, everyone.